Before we start.
Oh, we're live already?
Yep, we're live now.
Awesome.
Seems I can only collect the questions from the comments, but I can't leave comments, right?
You can copy.
Yeah.
Got it,
You
got
can
it.
you can post comments. Hey Samuel, I see people are joining in, right?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Nice to have you on the call. While we wait for others to join, would appreciate if you could share the link to this YouTube learning session in your community. Just send it out to all of the groups you're in. Today's sessions promises to be very exciting, and you would be amazed at the rewards and the giveaways we have in store for you today. So try to send out the message, the link to your communities, invite your friends, invite your families to join around and learn about Binance and product. So we'll start in exactly 1 minute. We'll start in exactly 1 minute.
Sure. And let us know where you guys are tuning in from. Which country,
Sure.
what time zone are you in?
Sure,
And say
most
hello.
def.
Feel free to say hello to us in the chat box. Samuel. Hey, US man Levon and Samuel from YouTube. And Joseph and Samuel's from Nigeria. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Samuel. Hi, Joseph. Good to have you on the call. Okay, a lot of people are joining now. Um, Hi, Frank. Good to have you on the call from Uganda. Hi, Usman. Good to have you as well. All right, I think we can start now. So yes, 1 second. Hello, everybody. Good to have you, on today's informative series on Binance Africa YouTube Learning Channel. We are very excited to play host to, two team members from the N team, and we are looking to explore, Binance N as a saving tool for African users. In today's call, we'll have like three segments, that will make up the call. The first segment will focus solely on answering about 10 questions, from, the questionnaire we sent out earlier this week. So if you check our Twitter page, you'll see a questionnaire where we asked, the community to send in feedback about Binance, and if you have any question, just drop it there and we'll select the best 10. We have done that for today's call and would answer those questions in segment 1. For segment 2, we're going to answer 5 questions that will come from this call, right? We expect that, some users will still have, questions to ask. And, our guests today are ready to answer at least 5 questions, on today's call. And then finally, in the third session, kind of like have two activities merged together. But the entire goal for the segment 3 would be to have an interactive section where we'll discuss about Binance and 2.0 and staking in the entirety of the word. Right. So before I introduce my guest, I would like to make a few announcements, to help us guide us, as we go ahead in this conversation. The first is that the giveaways for today's session are very mind blowing, right? So we have 2,000 BUSD vouchers, for users who, whose questions were selected, from the questionnaire on Twitter. So if your question is selected and read out today, remember we asked you to provide your UIDs. So definitely we have your UIDs as well. If your question is selected today, on the from the questionnaire and on this live call, we would do well to assign a $2,000 BUSD voucher, for your staking activities. Also, if you get to contribute to the third segment of this conversation, where we'll be talking about Binance, talking about ETH 2.0. If you get to be a contributor on this segment, we would give out $500 BUSD vouchers, for your staking activities. By way of highlights, the Binance Savings voucher rules, are that would give you an APR of 10%, for a 15-day duration, and users will be able to use the voucher to subscribe to the BUSD product on Binance Savings. Users will be able, to keep the rewards. Your interest that you generate within this 15-day period, and you will not be able to redeem the voucher itself. So just by way, of stating out the rules, I'll share that with you as well as we proceed. Anyways, to the next, and most interesting part of the conversation, I'll allow my host to introduce themselves, and then we'll get on to the question and answer segment proper. Hi, Larry. Do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, thanks so much for the amazing introduction, Ben. I'm Larry. Me and Catherine are both from the Binance Earn team. We're mainly in charge of the savings and staking products, so the principal protected products. I'm based in Taiwan, so let me know in the chat box if you have ever been to Taiwan. When in my previous company, I had a colleague that was actually from South Africa, and it was really interesting. I think their parents had a factory there, doing clothing. But yeah, so yeah, it's really great to meet you all. Catherine, you want to say hello?
Hey guys, very nice to meet you, and thank you so much to Ben for holding this, and very exciting to present our products already. So generally, Larry and me, we're in charge of the Binance Earn, especially for the token account protected products such as savings, staking, Ethereum 2.0, and BNB Vault. So in the core of today, any questions you have regarding Binance Earn, please feel free to ask us. Thank you so much.
Thank
I see.
Catherine.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I see. Cheetah Beer Samuel Chuku. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong. Has asked, where do we ask our questions? You directly ask in the chat, in the live stream, but remember to add your UID to the end so that we know which Binance user asked the question, so we can give out the rewards.
Cool.
Ben, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I was going to, emphasize that. So your questions coming into the chat, do well to post them in when we say so that it doesn't get lost in the chat, because we expect a lot of chatting to go on between now and when we'll be answering questions from the live chat. So for now, we are starting with segment 1. If you have questions down you'd like to ask, our guests today, pen them down somewhere, and when it's time, attach your UID, to the question and submit in the comment section. All right, I think we can go straight to the first set of questions that we got from Twitter. I'm just going to display the questions on the screen, and then I'll allow the team to take them one by one. Larry, are you good to go?
Yes.
Sure. So let's start with question from this UID. He's asking, what is Binance Earn? As a new user to Binance, how can I benefit from Binance Earn?
Yeah, so this is of course a great question to start. So Binance Earn, as you know, Binance is a crypto trading platform, and other than trading crypto, there's other ways to earn additional rewards or additional crypto, other than futures trading or spot trading, and having to predict the markets or hodling, right? So Binance Earn is a suite of products that helps users earn additional rewards other than hodling or trading or earning the capital gains. So there are actually a lot of products in Binance Earn. I think this is a bit confusing for users that are just joining Binance. So there's like do investment, Binance Liquid Swap, mining pools, and then there's the ones that for starters, for first time users, we recommend you guys to start joining like principal protected products. So principal protected products means that if you subscribe to these products, Binance will guarantee that your principal will be protected. And do know that you will not lose your tokens if you subscribe to these products. But keep in mind, this is guaranteed in terms of your token count, not the fiat value. So let's say you subscribe to BNB to the flexible savings or the Binance staking. That means that we will promise that the principal, let's say you subscribe 10 BNB, we will promise that the 10 BNB and the rewards will be given back to you. But there will definitely be market price volatility, right? So the BNB price might go up, might go down. We cannot promise in terms of that, but we will promise in terms of token counts. Whereas, like if you go to if you invest in like or subscribe to do investment, liquid swap, there are certain risks associated to it, and it's not a principal protected product. So for first time or crypto beginners, we really highly recommend that you can start, if you want to participate and earn, you can start with products that are principal protected. So there are generally 3 products that are principal protected: savings, locked staking, and ETH 2.0. Also, BNB Vault is principal protected. So yeah, that's a general overview of what Binance Earn is. Of course, I won't go into too much detail for each of the products, but yeah, I think that answers this question.
All right, thank you so much, Larry. So what I'm going to suggest is, it seems Larry is a lot technical in his answers. So maybe when Larry answers technically, I would ask Catherine to break it down to our audience. All right, so
yeah,
we go to the
sure.
next question. The next question is, how can we utilize this Binance Savings tool in the bear market?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, like Binance Savings is one of the principal protected products under Earn. So first off, I think it would be nice, it would be good for you to at least familiarize yourself with the suite of Binance Earn products. So that's the savings, staking. And for savings, it's really, really easy. You just need to subscribe assets that you already hold or you're interested in holding. And then you just subscribe, choose the flexible or locked savings product, and then you will earn additional rewards just by doing that. And once the terms, you will receive daily rewards. The rewards will be distributed daily, and you will receive those rewards in your spot wallet. So it's very, very intuitive. All you need is to subscribe your assets that you are already holding, and choose like the APRs that you accept, and it's as easy as that. And it's actually, other than savings, there's also locked staking, which I would, if you are interested in savings, you can also take a look at locked savings because locked staking, excuse me, because if you're planning to hold these assets for a longer term, let's say you have Ethereum, you have BNB, you have Solana or ADA or DOT, these kind of assets, and you're planning to hold them for over a month, or 2 months, or even half a year, or over 1 year, then it will be more better. It will be you can earn more rewards by putting those assets into staking instead of savings, because savings, you have the flexibility of taking the assets out whenever you like. But for staking, I noticed that we also have another question regarding early redeem. So if you redeem, you have the flexibility of redeeming early in locked staking, but if you redeem early, you will lose the interest that have been accrued. So if you're planning to hold an asset for long term, then you can use locked staking. If you're planning to hold the asset and you have a requirement where you need to take the assets away, withdraw the assets or for other purposes, then you can use flexible savings.
Thank you so much, Larry. I think it makes a lot of sense because, the Binance Earn system is very easy to use. You opt in to, use the Binance Earn product, where you simply move funds from spot wallet to your Earn wallet. I mean, and then you commit the funds to basically create passive income sources for you by just holding, and every day you get rewarded, depending on the amount of assets you are holding. And then you can easily opt out of the system, like Larry said, using a flexible plan, or you can use a long-term plan. But the idea is your crypto assets you initially committed is also always available to be redeemed. So that's the exciting thing about the Binance and savings tool. And the good thing about this in the bear market is that even though the values in terms of comparison to fiat, the values of your assets might reduce on your portfolio, but the assets is still making profit for you on the Binance N tool. And so you can maximize your passive sources of income using the Binance N savings tool. I think we'll go to the next question, Larry. In Binance N, which is the best to invest into between flexible savings and locked savings?
Yeah, so I think this question we can build on to the last question, right? So I explained the difference between flexible savings, locked savings, and then locked staking. So in terms of like for the user, really savings and locked staking is very, very similar. It's just that the durations are different, but the mechanisms are similar, right? You're locking your assets onto Binance and you're receiving a higher APR. I think what I can build on this question is how do you maximize or how do you utilize or maximize the gains from savings or staking? So one of the ways is we get a lot of questions regarding what APR, so annual percentage rate, and APY, annual percentage yield, like the difference between what these are. I think it might be good to go a bit deeper into what these two are. So first off, as you can see on our products, we say APR. So that's annual percentage rate. So this is actually something that's very interesting. You might see like APR sometimes at your bank. You might sometimes see APY at your bank. And normally for investment vehicles, like for banks, they like to advertise their loan products with APR, and they like to advertise their investment products with APY. Why is that? So first off, APR means that we don't take into account compound interest, and APY, annual percentage yield, does. So let's say you invest 1,000 BUSD in a 10% APR product. That means that if you don't compound it, the next year you'll receive 100 BUSD. So 10% of 1,000 BUSD, right? Let's say in the savings, flexible savings product. However, because this is also a huge advantage of Binance Earn.
I think.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I thought okay. I thought my connection was breaking. So for let's say one of the biggest advantages of Binance Earn is that we distribute the rewards daily. So for the 10%, the $100 BUSD you get per year, this $100 will be distributed daily to your spot account. So what you can do actually is you can take this interest or this rewards, because it's already distributed to your spot account. You can withdraw it. You can go. You can trade it for other tokens. You can use it to your own. But what you can do as a user, if you want to maximize your yields, is take this interest and then you can invest it back into flexible savings. So in essence, you're sort of manually compounding your interest, right? So in this way, if you actually let's say it's before it was a 10% APR, right? And if you do this manually every day, you can actually gain an incremental increase. So you will approximately get around 10.5%. Percent yield per year. And in this case, we will call it APY, because for 10% APR products, if you compound it, it will become around a 10.5% APY product. So that's one way to maximize your savings or your investments. And of course, I'm using 10% as a like a very conservative percentage yield, because for higher percentage products, the compounding effect would take, would be way larger. So it would definitely have a larger effect, and not just a 0.5% incremental increase per year. Yeah,
Thank you so
Ben,
much.
feel free to jump in if if my
Yeah.
answer is too
No,
hard, too
I like
technical.
I like the way you've explained. I like the way you've explained this particular, because it's a little confusing at some point. You begin to wonder what then is APY, what then is APR. I'm happy that you've been able to throw more light, to emphasize that APY has to do with compounding interests, and then APR is actually just, a timely interest. I think a daily interest on the product, because a lot of time, users begin to think, oh, I was told I was going to get 10% APR on a product, and they are looking at it as though it has compounded for the entire year. So it's good to have those explanations, to help our users understand what exactly the profits they should expect from, using the savings product. I think we can jump off to like the next question. Can interest rates be changed as per market conditions? And how does it affect already entered contracts?
Yeah, so for a savings and staking product specifically, savings product, both of these products, interest rate will change. So you can refer to the terms and conditions for that. But the reasoning behind this is that the interest generated from savings come from lending activity. So there will be times when lending activity is active, the market is very active, and a lot of people are lending. Therefore you will have a higher rate for lending out your loans, and therefore you will have a higher yield when in savings products. However, vice versa, if the market lending activity is low, the lending rate is lower, then savings will have to adjust the savings rate to be lower. And for staking, as some of you may already know, the activity or like the action of staking is locking your funds or onto a proof of stake blockchain. So this might get a little bit technical. So in order for blockchains to work, right? Normally there's two major consensus algorithms. That's proof of work and proof of stake. And these consensus algorithms is really to help secure the network, make sure that the transactions are valid, make sure that the blockchain is intact. And the proof of stake mechanism, or the proof of stake consensus mechanism, is a way for that encourages validators or like network participants to stake their tokens onto the blockchain in order to secure the blockchain. And but like if there are no incentives, right, people wouldn't do it. So in order to incentivize these validators, these proof of work networks, they reward the validators with a certain percentage yield per year. So let's say for Ethereum, for example, it's around 4% per year. So for the validators on Ethereum, if you're staking on Ethereum, you might receive somewhere around 4% per year by locking your Ethereum on the Ethereum network. And this percentage yield or this APR, or we call it on-chain rate, will change throughout time. So for some blockchains, if there are a lot of people staking, then the APR, because a lot of more people are sharing the emission of the blockchain, so the APR might lower. But for some blockchains, sometimes it might be higher, sometimes it might be lower. And because a part of the revenue source that comes from the lock staking products on Binance comes from this activity. So essentially, our APR, or the APR that you see on our lock staking products, would be dependent or similar, or at least correlate to what the on-chain APR is. So a quick answer to this question is yes, the interest will be changed according to the markets, and that's whether it's loan activities or on-chain rates.
Great stuff. Thank you so much, Larry, for that answer. I think it makes a lot of sense. So interest rates, change per time, depending on activities on the blockchains. All right. So I think the next question that we'll take is from this UID. What are the advantages of Binance Earn compared to, for example, staking on DeFi?
Yes, very good question. So for as I mentioned, the two products that I mentioned, lock staking and savings, these are token protected. That means that if you stake 100 BNB into these products at the end of the staking period, you will definitely receive your 100 BNB plus the interest. However, for DeFi staking, there are certain associated risks with it. Of course, there are a lot of different DeFi staking, right? I think one of the most major ones is liquidity provider staking. So you let's say there are a lot of AMM or automated market makers out there, and for decentralized exchanges, and they use AMM mechanisms in order to support their decentralized exchange, and they ask people to provide liquidity by let's say it's a Ethereum and USDT pool, and then people will have to let's say it's a buy $500 of USDT and then $500 of Ethereum, and then pull them together into one LP, and then provide this liquidity to the DEX. I don't want to get too technical, but essentially, like, if the Ethereum price fluctuates, the amount of tokens that you will receive if you want to unstake will differ. So if Ethereum price goes up, you will lose on your gain. So if Ethereum price goes up, let's say goes to 2,000, right? Then before, if you didn't stake, then you will be able to earn that $500 gain. But because it's been pulled into an LP, there's a certain calculation that makes you sort of lose on your gain. And if the Ethereum price goes down, then of course you other than the capital gain that you lose from the price action, you also lose on the tokens. So for DeFi staking, like generally for DeFi staking, there are the loss that I mentioned was something called an impermanent loss. If you guys want to go into more technical details, you can Google that. Google impermanent loss, and you'll be able to figure out like what are the major risks associated when you're doing like a liquidity provider staking for DeFi staking. And of course, there's the risk of the price action itself. And then, of course, there's a systematic risk of the DeFi protocol itself, because if you stake, outside doing non-custodial staking, whether the DeFi protocol, whether the smart contracts are audited, whether they are prone to hacks, there are a lot of like hacks, with non-custodial wallets, with leaks with smart contracts and bridge hacks. So you have to be very, very careful. And do a lot of due diligence on these protocols, because a lot of times we see that DeFi protocols, they can provide a very high yield, but either these protocols, they're just rug pulling, they just want to stake your assets inside and then rug pull, or sometimes they have leaks or bugs in their smart contracts that would be prone to hacks. And yeah, so do your due diligence on these, and I think that's one of the main advantages of what Binance can provide, is the protection of your funds.
Great stuff. Thank you so much, Larry, for that detailed explanation. Let's go straight to the next question. So before we even take the next question, guys, remember we mentioned that there are a lot of giveaways for this particular AMA. The N team has made available, about 2,000 BUSD vouchers, $2,000 worth of BUSD vouchers for all of the questions that we are answering right now. So if you discover that your question has been answered, you stand the chance to get the BUSD vouchers in your Binance account. So what you'd use them to do is basically to enter into a savings position, with APR of 10%, and it will be valid for 15 days. Now, what you get from this is just the interest you make on the staking of your vouchers, right? You don't make an interest. You don't get to withdraw the exact 2,000 BUSD out of the platform. You only get to withdraw just the amount you are able to save. So basically, you activate the vouchers when you receive them, and then after 15 days, you'd see the profit that you'd have made, and you see the potential, the validity of the Binance Earn platform, as it were. Okay, and also for those of you who will be asking questions in the comment section, I mentioned keep your questions intact. Very soon we'll call for them, and once you're sending in your question, attach your Binance UID so that when we get them, we can always send out your rewards to you as well. Okay, so the next question is from this UID. Unlike normal banking, which has guarantees, crypto savings has significant risks. What has Binance done to help mitigate such risks?
Yeah. So first off, I think to address like the sort of like the hypothesis here is that crypto is inherently riskier than banks. I mean, like I think the birth of crypto, as sort of happened conveniently after the financial crisis, right, where a lot of banks actually failed. But other than that, that point, I think for Binance, there's a very interesting article that you can take a look at. So you can Google "Earn as a trusted platform," Binance Earn as a trusted platform, and in that article, we really address a lot of the risk mitigants approaches that we take, including like maintaining a healthy loan to value ratio, maintaining our whole business model is a healthy business revenue generating business model. As I mentioned, like the revenue that you get from savings come from loan activity. The revenue that you get from staking comes from on-chain staking activities. So it's not reliant as of some activities or some bankruptcies that happened in the past. It's not reliant on leverage positions. We do not leverage any of the users' tokens, any of the users' funds in Binance. I mean, it's very evident in the APRs, right? There are a lot of companies that are providing crazy high APRs, 3 to 4 times what we can provide, but they have their risk associated with it, and there have been consequences that have been evident in the past few months. So we've always put users' fund security at our highest priority. So I think whether it's the Binance infrastructure, the Binance security team, how we protect the users' funds, in our wallet storage, in methodology of our wallet storage, and in using the funds, keeping a healthy loan to value ratio. These are all a lot of factors that are driving how we can keep users' funds safe. And it's I highly recommend you go to that read that blog thoroughly to have a fuller understanding. So I don't want to go too much into detail into the metrics on the live stream,
Sure.
but yeah, that's a very interesting article that you can reference to.
Sure. Thank you so much. We've not engaged Catherine all this while. Just so you know, Catherine is still on the call, and she'll be handling, the next section that will come after now. So like I mentioned, guys, prepare your questions and attach your Binance UIDs to your questions. As soon as we call for them, we will gather them together, and Catherine will jump on a few of them. All right. So another question that came in from, the questionnaire we sent out on Twitter is that, will my end tokens disappear if I redeem before the date of redeeming? I'm really confused.
Yeah. So if you're referring to the Binance Savings and Binance Staking, so yeah, be sure to for these products specifically, you can choose to early redeem. For savings, for flexible savings, you can redeem anytime. There is a window of redeeming period of 48 to 72 hours that you have to wait before you receive the tokens for staking. So if you want to early redeem, let's say you subscribe to a 30-day duration staking product, and on the 15th day, you need these funds, then you can choose to early redeem. You will receive your tokens in 48 to 72 hours, and it will be distributed to your spot wallet. So when you press early redeem, the exact time of when you will receive your tokens will be shown on the window. So a lot of users ask us, what is the exact time? It's actually shown, but we will definitely try to improve our UI. But because a lot of users miss that text, which says when you will receive your tokens. So first, you definitely can early redeem your tokens, but do note that you will lose your interest that have been generated if it's unlocked staking, and then you will receive your tokens in 48 to 72 hours, and the exact time will be shown when you choose early redeem. So you can be more aware of the text that has been shown on the screen.
So a quick question, a follow-up question to this, Larry, is: do I lose the entire, interest from the start to stop point, or I lose interest accrued, for that particular day?
Yeah. So you lose all of your interest generated, because that's the whole purpose of lock staking. If you can like redeem it whenever and still earn that interest, then it sort of like would be more flexible. It would be flexible staking. I think the whole purpose here is, and I think one of the emphasis that I want to also make between staking here is the giving users the flexibility of being able to early redeem is really another huge advantage of Binance. So if some users or people in the audience, you are you stake non-custodial way outside of Binance, then you probably know a lot of these protocols, they don't allow you to early redeem like in 3 days. Like sometimes it takes, like for DOT, it takes 28 days without interest. So if you want to stake one epoch, is 28 days, and you have to wait 28 days before joining that starting to accrue interest. And if you want to unstake, it takes another 28 days. But staking on Binance, first, we start distributing the interest from the next day. And that's really, and we distribute daily interest. So that's really a huge advantage and the flexibility that users can have.
Great stuff. Thank you so much. I even see some answers in the comment section. Samuel said, yes, you would lose your interest if you redeem early in locked savings before the expiry date of the subscription. Thank you. Very good to see that community members are aware of how the product actually works. So the next question is, I think this question is the shortest question I've seen. The question is, let me ask it again. What is BNB Vault?
Yeah, great question. So BNB Vault is it's also a token protected product, and it's very, like, a short answer would be it's a yield aggregator, right? So it utilizes both flexible savings and launch pool. So if you put if you have BNB and you want to earn additional rewards, you can put it into BNB Vault, and then it will generate additional rewards, whether it's in form of BNB or if there are launch pool products, you will be able to receive the launch pool rewards.
Great stuff. So I noticed that we might not be able to copy out the questions you're asking, guys. So what I'm going to do is, as the conversation progresses, I'll make available a short form for you to ask your questions, and then I would pick out all the questions from today, and the Binance End team has gone ahead to increase the allocation to about 50 people. So 50 questions can come in today, and the 50 people will get to have some BUSD vouchers distributed to them. So like I said, keep your questions handy. When you see the form, drop the questions in the form. We'll pick them out and share with the End team. I think I have a few more questions before we go to the next segment. This question says, hello, Binance End team. What will be done in the next few months? I'm guessing this question is, what are the product developments at the Binance End product in the next few months?
Yeah, so we're very excited to announce that coming soon, this at the end of this month, or early next month, a lot of users, they ask us the question, what's the difference between locked flexible staking and locked staking? Locked savings and locked staking. And as I mentioned to the user, it's really the same. And I think when a lot of users, they start using Binance and they get confused. There's so many products to choose from. They don't know which ones are principal protected, which ones aren't. So in the coming months, we will have a new product called Simple Earn, where we will merge the Binance Savings and the locked staking product into one. And this will be branded as a principal protected products, so that users, all you need to do is, choose a flexible plan or a locked product, a flexible product or a locked product, and then earn the rewards. And you don't need to care about, whether it's savings or staking, and it's really simplifying the product so that give users a better experience when navigating through Binance and products.
Great. Thank you so much, Larry, for that one. The final question for you before we go to the second segment. And I would say that after you answer this question, please do well to recap on the rules for, trading for the giveaways today. So the final question is, what is the benefits of staking Ethereum?
Yeah, so for staking Ethereum, like generally, if you're staking, whether it's on Binance or outside with other validators, staking Ethereum is supporting Ethereum network, right? Because staking Ethereum, whether you are a validator or a delegator meaning that you don't actually host the nodes, you don't actually, operate the hardware and software to support the network. You delegator mean that you delegate your ETH, your Ether to another validator who actually have this infrastructure. But you will be able to take a cut of the rewards, right? So it's really the benefits of staking Ethereum. First, you earn the rewards, and second is really supporting Ethereum network. And at the end, I will also go through, in section 3, I'll also go through some misconceptions about the Ethereum merge. So feel free to drop questions regarding that. One of the biggest benefits of staking Ethereum with Binance is, there are several benefits. First of all is security. Like I mentioned, at Binance, we really emphasize a lot on how we manage risk. Your wallets are safe at Binance. Your funds are safe in Binance. It's really less prone to hacks, or if you're you don't need to manage your private keys. You need to manage, this. If you want to stake, you have to look at the smart contracts and all that. So this is one of the biggest, I think, ease of use and security is one of the biggest advantages of ETH staking on Binance. And then there's also, because staking ETH with Binance, we provide a token called BETH. So if you stake one Ethereum at Binance, we will give you a representative token called BETH, Binance ETH. And this BETH represents that you have staked one ETH on Binance. And this BETH token actually has a secondary market. So for those that know about Ethereum staking, if you stake on Ethereum, you cannot withdraw. Currently, you cannot withdraw until what's called the Shanghai upgrade, which would be around 6 to 10 months if the merge succeeds, which would be around 6 to 10 months after the merge. And even then, it will be a linear withdrawal. So you won't be able to, all of the people can't withdraw at once. Otherwise, there might be a security issue. So the Ethereum Foundation has determined that the Ethereum issuance or withdrawal approval will be limited to around 40,000 a day, whereas there's around 10 million Ethereum staked already. So a lot of people, when they're staking Ethereum, they have a concern of liquidity issues, right? If I stake my Ethereum, I can't withdraw it. I can't use those funds. So Binance, we have the BETH token representing that you stake one Ethereum if you're it's a one-on-one basis, right? For each BETH represents that you have staked one Ethereum Binance, and you can actually sell this BETH in a secondary spot market for Ethereum at the market price. Of course, there might be a discount. There might sometimes be a higher price or lower price, but you will have that flexibility of liquidity to your Ethereum stake.
I'm muted, sorry. I think that's like the last question for your segment. Thank you so much, Larry. Do you want to touch on the giveaways for 2 seconds before we jump into segment 2?
Yeah, for sure. So thanks so much, guys, for posting in the questions on Twitter. Be sure to follow Binance Africa on all the socials. And for the questions that have been chosen, so for the questions that I have answered, or for these UIDs that you see, you will receive a 2,000 BUSD voucher. For the vouchers, you can see in the description below. There is a link to how to use the Binance voucher. So you can go to savings. You can use these BUSD vouchers to subscribe to the savings product. You have to first redeem the voucher in the reward center. So in the description below, you will be able to see like the instruction on how to use this voucher. And so for the questions chosen here, you'll receive those vouchers. And then in this next section, we have collected, and thanks so much for posting the questions in the chat box, and feel free to keep them coming. We have chosen a few questions that have been sent to us during the past segment, and for these users that have been chosen, you will also receive a 2,000 BUSD voucher. And and thanks to Ben for the people that have been engaging in the chat. You will stand a chance to win 500 BUSD vouchers.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I mean, the giveaways are so much. We can barely, keep everyone in the loop. But basically, what we're going to do is we have compiled up to 10 questions already from the comment section, and we are going to start by answering those questions as quickly as possible before we go to the last segment, which will be ETH 2.0 staking. And Larry already started giving, heads up as to how that product is, how that product works at Binance. And I think that's the last part of this conversation, to broaden our minds on what to do, what to expect, how to get actively involved. I think this segment belongs to Catherine. Catherine, are you good to go?
Yes, definitely. Can't wait.
All right. So just before we allow Catherine answer the questions, there's one particular question that was directed at Larry. Larry, I'll just allow you answer this question from one of the users in the comment sections. It says, why does it send the interest to my spot wallet when I have auto subscribed?
Yeah, so for the interest, this is actually a huge plus for you guys, right? So for both savings and staking products, the interest, you will receive daily interest directly in the spot product in your spot wallet, so that you can either you want to withdraw it, either you want to, if you want to stake it again in other earned products, or if you want to trade it in the spot market, right? So the daily interest is giving users that flexibility. And when it doesn't matter if you auto subscribe or not, you will receive this daily interest. And auto subscribe and auto staking is a very, very nice feature that you guys can use. So a lot of users have asked this question, because our staking has certain durations, like a 30-day product, and if that product ends before we had this feature, users will have to come back on Binance and then stake again. But now, when you stake the products, you can enable the auto subscribe or auto stake, so that your staking position will be continuous. So yeah, that's something that I think would be of value to the audience.
All right. Thank you so much once again, Larry, for your time and for your detailed explanations. Let's go to Catherine to take us through, some of the other questions from your users in the comment section. So, Catherine, this user wants to know, how can we create a pool with others to get about the 32 ETH together to benefit together? Oh, the question is actually, do you understand the question?
No. The question is fine, but I have to clarify some points about this question. For example, if you want to delegate the Ethereum yourself through your wallet, I mean that's not through Binance. So how can you create a pool with others, maybe with your family, maybe with your trust friends, that you can pull the 32 Ethereum together, and then all of you together to manage to manage a wallet, a hard wallet, and then to go to stake. But in Binance, if you want to do it through Binance, like Larry has mentioned, you don't need to worry about the 32 Ethereum, because if you want to stake via Binance Ethereum 2.0, only 0.0001 Ethereum is enough. So you don't need to have 32 Ethereum. You just need to have a little bit of Ethereum, and you are eligible to participate in Ethereum 2.0 on Binance. So it's very easy to go to Binance, and like Larry has mentioned, we have several benefits and advantages. So don't worry about anything. Binance will take responsibility for everything for you.
Great stuff. Because of time, we jump straight to the next question. How does Binance Auto Invest really works?
Oh, actually, this is a very good question, because I saw that today I saw several questions about the Auto Invest. Actually, Auto Invest is that, for example, you can choose a plan or portfolio. For example, I wanted to buy BNB weekly, monthly, or like bi-weekly. So you just need to make sure that in your spot wallet you have stablecoins, USD or USDT or some other tokens, and then you need to make your plan. And then every day, for example, maybe every Monday or maybe every Thursday of the week, then the auto investor will buy the token for you automatically. You don't need to worry anything, because if you wanted to buy yourself, maybe you have to set an alarm, or maybe you can't decide the price. But if you set the portfolio or a plan for your purchase plan, you don't need to worry about anything. Just at that moment of your sell day, you just can buy the tokens. So that is auto invest. And also, I just saw another question related to this one. For example, if I don't have enough balance, what will happen to my auto invest? So for example, I set the plan as like every week I buy $100 of BNB, but this week I only have $50 in my spot wallet. So your purchase will fail. So you have to deposit more tokens for the auto invest.
Cool. Thank you so much, Catherine. The next question would be, what is the difference between dual investment and auto investment, and what is the risk involved in both of them? I think he has two questions in one. Secondly, I've been referring people to Binance. How do I see my rewards? Oh, this is a separate question. For that, just go to your dashboard. Go to your dashboard, check on your referral dashboard. You'd see all of the details of people who have joined Binance using your referral link. And yes, if you are very big on this, you can reach out to us on Binance Telegram group to help onboard you as an affiliate, to join the affiliate program and earn rewards for all of your referrals, right? So Catherine, to the first question.
Okay, thank you, Ben. So for the first question, I have to clarify one point, that first of all, what is the difference between dual investment and auto invest? Actually, their name is dual investment and auto invest. It's not auto investment, but they are very similar. First of all, auto invest is risk-free, which means that there's no risk. You just need to set a plan and to buy the portfolio of tokens, for example, like BNB or maybe several tokens. There's no risk. You just need to buy, and then these tokens will be deposited or transferred to savings directly, and you can earn a little bit of the APR. So all-in-mass is totally risk-free. Token count. When we talk about the risk-free, which means that the token count is protected, not the token value, because no one can guarantee the token price. But we speak of dual investment. This product has risk because the logic of this product is options. It's not futures. It's not spot trading. It's options, which means that you have to predict a future price. For example, you choose the trading pair of USDT and BTC by the end of September. So first of all, you have to predict a price. Maybe you predict it will be higher, or you predict it will be lower. So then you will choose the dual investment. Once the day comes to execute, we call the day execute day, which means that, for example, you predict the price on 27th of September, and then you predicted it as that it will decrease, but actually it increase. So maybe your trading pair, the value of your trading pair will change a little bit. So it comes with dual investment with risk, and the risk will associated with your USDT loss or gain. So they are very different, and the risk level is very different as well. Okay, I hope I have answered this question.
Sorry, I'm muted again. You did very well. Thank you so much. All right, so the next question is, when is the date for the ETH 2.0 merge?
Oh, I think it's coming very soon, because as the Ethereum Foundation has stated, it is expected to happen on 15th of September. So if everything goes smoothly, it will be done shortly. So which means that on 15th of September.
Cool.
But we're not sure.
Thank you.
We have to wait.
Cool. Thank you so much. The next question is, how can we create a pool? Oh, I think you already answered this question.
Yes.
Yes. So, this user wants to know which is better to use, flexible savings or locked savings. I think this is relatable, but Catherine, do you want to touch on this?
Yes, they are very, I think they are very different. First of all, when we are talking about which one is better, you have to, first of all, you have to make sure that what goal you want to have. You want to have the flexibility, or you want to have a higher APR without liquidity concerns. For example, if you don't have liquidity concerns, you can lock your tokens for a certain period, a longer period, a higher APR, but you really need your liquidity, and you are a high frequency trader. So when the market is not so bullish, you can just deposit your tokens on flexible savings. But both of the products, both of the two products are token count protected, like Larry has mentioned several times, that which means that at any time you deposit your tokens, or once the product expired, you can totally get your tokens without any loss. So we call them token count protected. They are like risk-free.
All right. One or two more questions, and we'll move on to the final segment of this conversation. I think actually the last question for you, Catherine. As a way of protecting my crypto asset against market volatility, can I save with stable coins on Binance Earn?
Yes. On Binance Earn, I think that, for example, if you wanted to do something with your stable coins, there are two options. The first one is, if you are a long-term holder, if you are a very long-term holder, and you just want to hold stable coins, so you can transfer or deposit your stable coins on flexible savings. So maybe the APR is not so high, but you can earn something. Or if you are a very long-term holder, you can make a portfolio or a plan on auto invest, and then weekly, monthly, or bi-weekly to buy some tokens, which means that I mean that the tokens you have strong faith in them, and when the bull market comes, you think you can have something. So when we are talking about that, if you want to have your crypto assets against the market volatility, maybe you can deposit in flexible savings.
Cool. Thank you so much. I think we cannot take every question that has come in already, but what we are going to do is Catherine is still going to take some more questions and documents outside here, and we'll provide answers to them and share in our Telegram community. So if you are yet to join our Telegram community, please join. Search for Binance Nigeria on Twitter or on Telegram and join the community and anticipate answers to your questions. Thank you so much, Catherine, for that segment. We would go to the final segment before we call it a day on today's session. This segment, I'm going to hope that Larry will keep it as brief as possible, because these are questions that bother around, some form of technicalities, but want to keep them, at the surface level for our community. So, Larry, you already touched on this, so I'll allow you to talk about this in like 30 seconds. What then is ETH 2.0?
Yeah, so I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. ETH 2.0 is actually a term that the Ethereum Foundation is the terminology is trying to, they're trying to remove this terminology, but essentially the vision, I also saw someone in the comment had also mentioned this, the vision of Ethereum is to achieve sustainability, security, and scalability. And the point of Ethereum, of the merge, is to transition from proof of work to proof of stake. And this, one of the biggest impacts is the sustainability, because it before proof of work takes a lot of energy, and moving to proof of stake, it will reduce the energy consumption by 99%. And I think the impacts of this would, it will bring in more people into the Ethereum ecosystem, ESG conscious corporations. And there's also a 90% less issuance of Ethereum. So the every year there'll be less Ethereum issued in terms of Ethereum inflation. There'll be less Ethereum issued, and then there's, of course, in terms of one of the biggest misconceptions is around whether the gas price or the transaction price or the transaction speed will be different. A quick answer is no, because the merge doesn't address the scalability issue of the current Ethereum network. And there's a lot of L2s that are addressing this problem. So that's why the Ethereum Foundation didn't put it as a priority. But that's a very high level, description of, being aware of the time. I know we're over time, but that's a very high level description of what the merge is about, and what the Ethereum is, the goal of Ethereum is moving toward to.
All right. So, when can I redeem my staked ETH? Assuming this goes live, when am I going to be able to redeem my staked ETH?
Oh, yeah. So for the staked ETH, you can't redeem it until
Can you hear me?
Shanghai. Yeah. Sorry, I think there was a bit of lag. So for the staked ETH, you can't redeem it after the Shanghai upgrade, which is 6 to 12 months after the merge. So if the merge is around September 15th, you have to add another 6 to 12 months to another Ethereum upgrade. Hello? Sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah,
I can hear you. Sorry, there's kind of like a lag, but I get the answers. So you have to wait between 6 to 8 months to completely withdraw your staked ETH. All right.
6 to 12. 6 to 12.
6 to 12. 6 to 12. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Are there any limitations on how many BETH can be redeemed?
Yeah. So BETH is a representation of staked ETH on Binance. So if you stake with Binance, you'll immediately receive a BETH token. If you want, you can actually sell this BETH in the spot market if you need that liquidity. And the BETH redeem, like if you want to redeem it one-on-one, based on a one-on-one basis to Ethereum, Binance, we will, we will be considering like how the Ethereum mainnet works. So we'll wait until further notice by the Ethereum Foundation.
Okay. Okay. So this question, I think it might need some forms of demonstration, but just explain to us how the APR would be calculated.
Oh, yeah. The APR is just like any other staking products. It will be correlated to the on-chain rate that Ethereum currently provides. So if the Ethereum APR is around 4%, that's because Binance, we don't take any fees. So it will be very correlated to the on-chain rate.
So like you mentioned earlier, Binance doesn't, the APR is not calculated by Binance itself. It is, calculated according to, the process. It depends on the ETH network, the staking process, that will be built by the ETH network. And like you mentioned earlier, the more ETH is staked, the lower the APR will be. All right. I think it makes a lot of sense to us now. So the question now is, what is BETH and how does it work?
So BETH is a representation of one BETH is a representation of one stake ETH on Binance. So as I mentioned, you can actually, so as long, the easiest way to stake on Binance is as long you just need to hold the BETH in your Binance spot wallet. And let's say you hold 1 BETH or 10 BETH, you actually see that number grow as the days go by, because for staking ETH on Binance, you just need to hold the BETH, and then we'll distribute the rewards to you daily.
All right. All right. I think we have a few more questions before we call it wraps today. So, peradventure, I partake in the staking, right? Where can I view my staking balance?
Yeah, so it'll be in your spot wallet.
Okay. Okay. So it will be the same as current staking balance, right? In my spot wallet. When can I receive my staking rewards?
Like I mentioned, as long as you hold the BETH, you'll be able to receive the rewards in your spot wallet daily.
Great stuff. I think these are like the basic questions around the ETH 2.0 staking. One of the final questions that might come up in the near future is, if I swap my BETH to ETH, could I still receive daily rewards that are being distributed?
Yeah, so very great question. If you sell your BETH, you essentially you don't own that representation token. So so if you sell it back to ETH, then you won't receive the rewards, because you will not be holding, unless you have remaining BETH, but you won't receive the rewards of the sold BETH.
Cool. It makes a lot of sense now. And I think these are like questions that we felt would make a lot of sense to our users. And I'm very excited that you've been able to provide these answers to us. These sessions are actually are recorded, and we are going to share it across, all of our social media channels. We're going to share it across our communities so that they can learn more about finance, flexible and fixed savings, the locked staking and everything finance inside. This have come
I'm not sure.
again. We talked about giveaway. There are two kinds of giveaways for 3 segments of people. The first are those who commented or who, sent in questions via Twitter. We sent out a questionnaire. The 10 questions we read out, and then the questions we got from segment 2 that Catherine answered. So we have, all of us in those categories are going to be receiving $2,000 worth BUSD vouchers, BUSD savings vouchers, right? And as has been displayed at the bottom of the screen, the rules are that you have a 10% APR and 1 day period, to save using those vouchers you receive. So if you receive a $2,000 voucher, you save within 15 days, you're going to make some form of profit on that voucher. What accrues to you and
I think yeah, Catherine, I think Ben's disconnected. I'm not sure if it's mine or Ben's. Catherine, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I think it's Ben's internet problem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, I think he disconnected.
Yeah, disconnected.
Well, yeah, anyways, I think to close up, Ben was referring to like the BUSD vouchers. Thanks so much for submitting the questions. You will receive the vouchers in around 2 weeks. So you can go to the reward center and check the rewards. And thanks again so much, guys, for joining today's session. And be sure to follow, like in the description, we have our the Binance Earn channels. If you want to participate in larger giveaways, staking specials, feel free to click on the links below. And yeah, also be sure to follow the Binance Africa accounts. Hey, Ben.
Hey guys, sorry, my network, there was a glitch.
No
But
worries.
I'm back.
I closed up. Yeah, I closed up for you. No worries.
Thank you so much. I actually just, pasted the links you mentioned in the comment section. Take all of them, study about the Binance taking product and everything. Any last words from you, Catherine, before we let you go?
I think this is very good to have the AMAs like this way. And in the future, I think, for example, in your community, because we think that to like, if users have questions, and like always CZ mentioned that we have always to contact with our users, and whatever they want us to optimize our products. So your opinions, your ideas are most welcome. So I think in future, if you have any questions or feedback for our products, please feel free to reach out to us, and we can open more like the open sessions like AMAs or live stream or like a Twitter survey, anything we can do together. So we would like to.
All right. Thank you so much, Catherine, for spending time with us. Larry, any last questions? You already closed for me.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks again for everyone tuning in today. And yeah, we're very happy to answer any questions you have regarding our products. Whether it's regarding even blockchain. So as long as we know the answers, we'll do our best to answer. And it was a very informative session. So thanks so much for hosting, Ben.
Sure. Thanks,
Thank you so
everyone.
much.
And yes, look out on our Twitter page for the list of winners for this giveaway. We'll post that by today and tomorrow. Thank you so much and have a great time. Bye-bye.
All right. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.